See y'all at the Sassy Snapper.
If I was a theater owner today in Florida, or someone who was in charge of booking acts for theaters, it's such a baby boomer rich environment down here in Florida that to me, I'm a baby boomer myself, and I think that today's baby boomer wants a little something more out of his theater experience. I mean, how many times can you go see Annie Get Your Gun? And this music it's got a 50-year history. And it's such a huge story, it's such a great story, it's such a timeless story. And to me, the way to tell it is through the music itself. I mean, the musical history of rock and roll.
Saving nickels, saving dimes, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happier times, don't bloom by you.
This was his very first hit. He wandered in from Minnesota in the dead of winter, and within 2 years, he had made the rounds at the Greenwich Village coffee shops, and some people call this the very first anti-war song ever was, but it's called "Blowing in the Wind," and he wrote it in 1962 or 3, I believe. So we're going to do it for you right now. This is definitely a sing-along. How many roads must a man walk down before he can call it a man? How many seas must a wife sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must a man cry before they're forever mine? The answer I learned is flowing away. You guys sound low. The answer is flowing away.
I like to tell this story about an experience that I had at a little theater that we played down in Englwood, Florida, called Lemon Bay Playhouse. And we sold out 2 nights there. And I remember the most memorable thing about that performance was on the first night, the executive director of the theater happened to be in attendance. He was in the front row. Nice guy, his name is Jim. And Jim is in a wheelchair. He lost a leg at some point in his life. And I remember we were halfway through our show and the audience was just rocking and rolling and having a good time and cheering and dancing. And there's Jim down there in the front row in his wheelchair. And I swear I thought that thing was going to tip over. The spirit of rock and roll had just moved through him in such a way that the chair was tipping back and forth and he was clapping his hands and moving his body all around. Obviously Jim couldn't get up and dance, but he didn't care. Jim didn't care because he could still rock, and that's exactly what he was doing. And to me, that was the same spirit of rock and roll that was moving through him through that night. It was the same spirit of rock and roll that hit me when I was a teenager.
You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good.
Obviously, the ones that I do, the Linda Ronstadt songs, are some of my favorite because I have the opportunity to really pull from that artist, and she sang with so much passion and life, and I love doing her songs. It's about life. It's about real life. It's about real people, everyday situations, relationships, and we realized that we had something special gone because those people came right up on the stage and were dancing right along with us. I think it was on Brown Eyed Girl at the Players Theater. And gentleman shook that tambourine so hard he broke it in pieces.
We certainly have a multitude of historical events to look back upon. First guy on the moon, first woman to beat a man in professional tennis. You remember that? What was her name? What was the guy's name? Oh, I thought he faded into obscure history, but you still remember his name? We had the assassination of our beloved president and the subsequent assassination of his brother and another man of peace, Martin Luther King. What about a young and proud black boxer who stood up and said to the world, "I am the greatest"? And he turned around and he proved it, didn't it?
We never walked so low and moved goodbye. So low and moved goodbye. So low and moved goodbye.
Thank you so much. These were tumultuous times that we lived in, but above all this music has endured. It started back in the 50s, went on into the 60s. Its rhythms, its harmonies, its melodies kept changing, but it was always there. I remember my dad, he didn't like it. He didn't like the hairstyles. He would approve of this Every performance we feature anywhere from 8 to 18 artists. We tell you a little bit about the artist, detail, just a little bit of trivia, why a song is named what it is, and a little bit about the artist's influence on the generations. But and that's the beauty of what we do here. Is I personally feel that it's almost my mission in life to keep this music alive, along with a lot of other guys my age, because we lived through these times.